Welcome to part 4 of our look at the new straw harvest add-on from Creative Mesh on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Well then, part 4. I wasn't anticipating doing this, but it kind of makes sense that I do. Having had the straw add-on / DLC, it's been out for 24 hours on console. I've had loads and loads of those questions, which is absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at pellet uses in this video. What can we use the pellets for in-game? I talked about, I think it was on part 2 when I did the Primos 5000 kind of review, what it's used for in real life. And the questions were then asked, okay, that's fine, but what can they be used for in-game? And there are quite a few uses, which is absolutely brilliant. So we're going to look at that, some of the processes to get to those uses, but what I'm also going to do is answer some questions. Now, I'm not going to be naming specific names because a lot of these questions asked were asked by multiple people. Every now and again I might have got one question that came up with only one person asked, but they were very few and far between. And to list everybody that asked them, I'd be standing here all day doing that. So, the first thing wasn't a question, it was about this and something I missed. The bale collect. It has different settings for unloading bales. Now I need to make some hay bales because I'm going to show you something with the hay bales. So I thought, you know what, I might as well do that at the same time. Now, I've been onto the Creative Mesh Discord server as well. On the Discord server there's a facts and known issues page on their Discord server, and there are some questions and answers on here. So before I start this off, it does say, do I have to start a new save game with seasons and the straw harvest, and is it compatible with seasons? Now it does say in the answer you don't need to, but you do need to make sure you don't have any salt, snow or semi-dry grass on the ground. If you do, it can mix things up, and a lot of people are reporting having snow on the ground, putting their game on with the straw harvest, and all of the snow has turned to pellets. People are also reporting with seasons on that the hay bales aren't working properly and a few other issues. My advice, and this is only my own personal opinion, steer clear of seasons for the time being. They are working on it. It also, one of the questions asked was about, or wasn't asked, but it was mentioned, a statement really, on certain maps it doesn't work or won't allow you to because of multi-fruits. You have mixed up fruits. If you encounter any, it can cause problems. Now, certain maps have already got extra fruits and crop types added in. If they're at or close to their maximum, this obviously adds in hay and straw pellets. It may say it's not compatible because there are too many fruits. So it's possible there are certain maps out there that the straw add-on won't work because of the amount of fruits that are on there. So yeah, the seasons issue they're looking at. Anyway, so the too many fruits, I've looked at that. The fruit types is limited by giants. They can change that in the base game, but at the moment it's limited to a certain amount, so you can reach the fruit limit. It does say the Primos pickup does not pick up shallow swaths. I noticed yesterday when I was using it, it didn't always pick up particularly well. It has been suggested by people in the chat to use, or in the comments, to use a higher horsepower tractor, and then it will have no problem pulling stuff through. But it does say in the answer on the Discord server, where are we? It is a known issue and it will be fixed in a future release. So with regard to the shallow swaths, there's another question on there regarding loose and palletized pellets. We're going to have a look at that as well. Now, let's open up my help menu. So I just thought I'd cover those while I was doing it as well. If I do my L1 setting, it's got bale unload mode there. Now it's got XXX, that means I'm going to get 3 bales, one in the middle, one either side. If I do that again, press down on my D-pad, it will change it to an X in the middle, which means I'll get 1 bale. So if you want to just do 1 bale at the back but keep this on, because you don't want to have 2 separate balers or keep changing the configuration of the back of this, you can have 1 bale. You press it again, it takes it to 2 bales, it will do 2 on the outside or 3. So what we'll do is have it set on 1 to start off with. We'll go through, turn it on, have I? Of course not, didn't lower the pickup. That's better. And a lot of people have said, does this mean we now have a bale counter down the bottom? There's a counter there. I think I haven't tried this actually with a normal baler yet, but it could just be with the straw add-on kind of enabled. So potentially. So what should happen now is, it's the only problem using the John Deere, it's a little bit all over the place. Once that one bale goes onto there, it should unload because it's doing its one. There we go, so it's unloading one. So what I'll do now is switch to that, change the bale mode to 2, so it should now allow 2 on there. One will go one side, one will go the other. Just thinking, have I got enough straw to hay to do 3 potentially? So that'll put that one out, and then 2 will unload like so. I do it again, put it back onto 3. So you do have the option of 1, 2 or 3 bale unload, depends what you'd rather go for. I missed that on the video the other day, I do apologise. There was so much stuff to cover and I tried to cover everything. I thought I'd covered everything, but you know, you're always going to miss things. That's just the way it is. So I'm going to be using these hay bales in a moment. Let's see if we can get a third bale out. We should do. Oops, I just caught with the bales, but not to worry. There we go. Third bale out. Now what you can also do, if you've got a full bale in there, if you do turn it off, you can unload the individual bale and then unload bales. So if you do have any spares in there, you don't have to wait for a full load, you can just unload them separately if you want to. So that's the first part done. That's showing you the baler and the options on the baler. I'm going to go and move those over and we're going to look at the hay production on the Primos, because a lot of people have been saying they've been having trouble with the bales working on the Primos. The other thing I haven't tried, and that's going to require further testing again, is using a regular baler and putting normal straw or hay bales that haven't come out the back of this one onto the Primos belt. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't work. They should do. At the end of the day, they're bales. I mean, there's loads of different balers in game, so they should do, but I suppose that's going to require some extra testing. So, the next phase of looking at the hay situation. Now, there is an issue that with so many different mods and so many different things all working, interacting with each other, some of the comments and some of the questions asked could be because of the season situation. Now, what people have been saying is straw works fine through this, but hay bales aren't working. It will do the first one or part of the first one, then it won't take any more, it won't process. It could be that these people or some people have been running seasons, and because the seasons, the bales, the different colours, it could be a seasons incompatibility potentially, but it could be an issue. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to try it anyway. So I'm going to put one on. The other thing commented was that, and I found that on the video I did yesterday, putting bales on here is fine. If you put the bale down and take the forks out and leave it, you're golden. If you happen to catch the forks on that while that's on that belt, they fling off. Some fling here, some fling boom right across the map. You know, you've got to be careful. I mean, it's just one of those things. You know, I suppose just more careful bale loading. I suppose it's not the best thing in the world, but you know, if that's the case, then that's what I'll say. So what we'll do is put that one on. I'll grab the one that's behind me, we'll put that one on, and we'll see if it processes both. I'm on No Man's Land. A couple of people asked what map I was on yesterday. I'm on No Man's Land. I try where I can to do my test maps on maps where you've got a nice bit of ground or fields you can use very close to the store, so you're not having to transport things miles. Mercury Farmers was like that, and this one's fantastic for it. So what we'll do is we'll stick another one up in the belt. People have been saying bale type not supported, it keeps coming up with when they try and do hay bales. Now, like I say, that could be the seasons thing, might not be. All I can do is test it on the parameters I've got on here, and we'll see what happens. No, come on. there you go. Moved the bale spikes, it was on the belt, tried to adjust it, doesn't like it. That's going to be a problem, and I know the problem we have, is that you need the patience of a saint for some processes in game, and I know some people don't have that kind of patience, and if something becomes fiddly, finicky and awkward to do, people will just walk away from it, they'll leave it alone. And I say people generally, I'm not pointing at anybody, I don't know who you are, I don't know what you do, I don't know how you play the game, but that potentially can be an issue if people find doing this kind of thing is difficult or awkward, or they're having problems with it, they just won't do it, and I kind of understand that. Now let's try and get one if we can. Let's see if we can do it without it coming off this time. I need to push down a bit harder on the spikes so it doesn't pull the bale off with me. Okay, so that's now processed, and I could have put it a bit further on really. The first one has processed. If you jump into the cab before it starts doing the other one, we've got 990 litres of hay pellets. So the other thing to talk about is the ratios. I kind of touched on it briefly. A 4,000 litre bale is compressing down to roughly 990, not far off 1,000 litres, so it's a 4 to 1 ratio. So 4,000 litres is compressing down to 1,000 litres roughly of hay pellets or straw pellets. So the question then is asked, if you're using hay pellets for anything else on the farm, do you need as many hay pellets? Because if you need 4,000 litres of straw or hay, is it going to require 4,000 litres of hay or straw pellets? That's a very valid point and something I need to look at, and I'm going to be looking at it, hopefully trying to work out the best way of doing it. We'll look at that too. Does that ratio work? Now the question has then been asked also, what's the point of all this then? Why don't you just stick to using bales? And why would people bother putting bales into this machine when you can make pellets? The thing is, companies that own these, that are running these machines, these are not cheap to buy, and this may well be that your entire operation is pellet production, that this is what your company does. So there may be a lot of farmers and farms out there, and there are a lot of farmers and farmers out there that don't have a Primos 5000, they don't pellet things. So the companies that are running these are buying bales from other farms and farmers. So then they need a way to put the bales in. Not everything is going to come in pellet form. So that's a reason why it has the bale shredder on it. And that's why, in game you may not want to bother making bales, then putting them in here when you can just pick it up off the floor. I totally understand that. But in real life, that's why it is the way it is, that's why it runs. That has put a second bale in there, no problem at all. I haven't had an issue with it stopping. Like I say, all I can say is from what I'm seeing, it's done both. We're not far off 2,000 litres, so that ratio is still working out pretty much consistently. Okay, so that's the next part. The hay situation, the hay bales, it could be a seasons issue with the bales, or it could be, there are so many things, different mod clashes you can get, mapper mod clashes, it could be 1,001 reasons why it's causing it, but all I can say is it's just worked fine on here. So let's turn that off. What's next? Buying and selling. We'll have a look at that. Bear with me 1 second. Next question then. Can you just buy pellets? Do you have to make them? The answer to that is yes, you can. I've got in front of me the multi-filling station by Edge Castiga. I haven't tried all the different silos, but if I go under this silo here, press L3, comes up with hay pellets or straw pellets next to lime and then pig food and stuff like that. So if you want to, you can buy the pellets without producing them if you want to use them. So for example, there we go. They're not cheap, not on this one. 6,383 for 9,677 litres of straw pellets. So then the question is, after that, well, can you sell them? Can you just sell them directly? Do they have to be palletised to sell them? Well, right next to it I've got the sell point by Edge Castiga. So what I'm going to do is sell some here. Put it on grain door because I don't want to lose too many. Can I sell them? Yes, I can. And you can make a bit of money doing it. So you can buy and sell them directly if you wanted to. What I've also got over here is the sell point that comes with the pack, the hay and straw. So again, do they need to be palletised to be sold on there, or can you sell loose? Answer to that is yes, you can sell loose. I'm selling loose right now. Which means now I need to go and buy some more, because that took them really quickly. Did I get as much for them at that point? I didn't. I got more at the Edge Castiga one. What I've also got is another sell point. Again, this is just to kind of highlight the fact that you can, if you want to. Right, so we'll do that. I have got the selling station by Fernand24. That's just over here. Ah, that's interesting. So this sell point hasn't come up with it. So this is a modded sell point. And this is by Fernand24. So not all of the sell points are going to work. I know the Edge Castiga one does. I thought I would try a different one, and as it transpires, that one doesn't. Okay, so that's buying and selling directly. If you want to buy or sell directly pellets, if you don't want to go through the production process, that's entirely up to you. So the next question on from that is, can you store them? Can you store them loose? Yes, you can. Again, in the mods, I haven't tried all of the different silos. This will only work with multi-fruit silos, but it won't necessarily work with all multi-fruit silos. What I've got in front of me here are two multi-fruit silos, and this is from the grain silo set with multi-fruit by Top Ace 888. You can bring it in and store your pellets if you want to store them in there. I'll put them all in. If you want to take them out, I've already got some I put in here myself. I've got straw and I've got hay pellets in here. So you can store them, load them, unload them into these. These you will find under silos, and there are quite a few available on here. If we scroll across from the main in-game ones. So here we are, the modded ones. You've got small grain silo. These take normal ones, but the multi-fruit one there, it says right at the very end, on that list of all the things this will take, and it will take hay and straw pellets. So the normal silo won't, but the multi-fruit silo will. So you've got the small multi-fruit silo, we've got a large multi-fruit silo, we've got an extra large multi-fruit silo, and then we've got silo extensions. So you've got a large multi-fruit silo extension, small multi-fruit silo extension. They will take them. Now what I have noticed is the Mercury Farms silo pack by Alien Jim, because I've already got that on here, it's on the map, and I don't have it on all my maps. It's not showing that as an option. So not all silos will, not all multi-fruit silos will, but I do know that the grain silo set with multi-fruit by Top Ace 888 will store them for later use. So if you haven't got a particular price and you want to move on from that, you absolutely can. Right, what's next that I need to make sure I add into this? Oh yeah, based upon what I just did, selling them at the supplied sell point that comes with this pack. Farm Dog's not happy about me selling the pellets apparently. One of the questions asked on the Creative Mesh Discord server was, are there different prices to loose and palletized pellets at the sell point? The answer is currently the prices are the same, but they will be different in future releases, because people asked yesterday on my videos in the comments, what is the point of buying this entire building? What's the point of going to all the hassle of putting them through here, palletizing them to put to the sell point and sell, when you can sell them loose and make the same money? And that's a valid point. It is a valid point. That's the answer they've given. Currently the prices are the same, but they will be different in future releases. So I would imagine the prices for palletized ones will be a lot higher, to reflect the fact, the time and effort and machinery and costs and running costs of having to actually produce the pallets. At the moment they're the same, but they will change. It depends when you're watching this video. Obviously if you're watching this 6 months from now, they may well have already changed. There may well have been an update that may have changed considerably. I'm just thinking, I've got full pallets there, that's probably why the machine stopped. Another question asked yesterday was, what is the capacity of this? 5,000 litres. It will take 5,000 litres and then start producing. If I open up my menu, at the moment I'm down to 3,439 litres in there. So it's done so far 275 bags, 6 pallets, and I have not even used, well, I've used 32% of a full thing. So when that's full with 5,000 litres of pellets, which equates to, if we think about our ratios, 20 bales, and I haven't used 20 bales yet, I've only used a fraction of that, I've already got 6 pallets out of that. So, you know, the price wise, it is worth doing. Are you going to make more money than you do by selling them as just normal bales? Yeah, absolutely you are. If 20 bales get sold, I've got, what, 6 pallets there already. I've only used 32%. So I've got potentially another 2/3 to go. I'm going to get a load of pallets. I'll make so much more money. Again, that's just working out the maths on this. I mean, you know, you may find in practice that doesn't quite work out for you. But I think you absolutely will. It's making a huge amount of pellets. Next up, right, more uses for these pellets. So other than just selling them as a commodity, can we use these pellets? Again, we can. What I'm going to do first though is a quick test, and this is also to do with ratios. So I've got 2 cow pastures set up. Both have got 10 cows in. What I'm going to do, not from this one. Oh, I meant to set this up beforehand, but it's not a problem. Let's go and buy some. I'm going to buy loose straw. So no difference if you had it as bales. This is just loose, you know, but I'm going to buy loose straw. So if you took a regular bale and you shredded it through a bale shredder, you're going to get like for like. If you've got 40,000 litres of bales, you've got 10 bales, you're going to get 40,000 litres of straw. So that's nothing to do with pellets or anything like that. This is just normal straw. So what I'm going to do with my 10 cows, I'm going to put their bedding in using straw, and we'll see how much of this it uses. Because this is the other question asked with regard to the ratios. If you can use pellets for bedding, is it the same ratio? Because if it is, you think, okay, but that's not really worth doing, is it? So, how much is that going to take for those 10 cows? 9,500 litres. Okay, so 9,500 litres. I'm trying to do the maths in my head now. No, I need that trailer, don't I? 9,500 litres. If 4,000 litres comes out at about 1,000 litres of pellets, that's going to be 2,000 litres of pellets. 2 and a bit, isn't it? So the query now is going to be, if we do this in pellet form, let's swap that over and put that onto unload normally, because that's going to take forever otherwise. Upside back. There we go. So can this be used for bedding? Can the stuff be used for feed? That's another question that was asked. And I can show you part of that already. So let's put straw pellets in here. I'm going to do the full 40,000 litres, just so it's all comparable. We'll put the full load in. If we go into our menu and look at our animals, our cows there, I've got 2 cow pastures, and I've got sheep as well. Jeremy makes a welcome return there. Look, 1 brown sheep. So if we look at the cows first, and we look down where it says food, it says hay, silage and hay pellets. So under feed, they will take hay pellets as feed. Under straw, under conditions, it doesn't say pellets on there. So we're going to check that. If we go into sheep, it says under food, grass, hay and hay pellets. So again, for the sheep, you can use the hay pellets. You don't have to sell them. You can use them as a food source, which is absolutely fantastic. The question with the cows, though, is can you use hay and straw pellets in the making of total mixed ration? Did I only have 20? Oh, did I only have that amount in there? Don't worry, I'll put some in the other one too. Yeah, can you make total mixed ration? That's an interesting question. Use this. So what we're going to do now is, now if this takes 9,000 odd litres, you're better off using bales for bedding. If it only uses about 2,000 litres, then we know the compression ratio is right. Absolutely bang on. We barely used any there. 2,375, which is pretty much spot on. So the ratios are absolutely right. So the beauty behind this is I only used 2,300 odd litres of straw pellets for bedding compared to 9,000, what's that, what's 9,700? Mine's gone blank. Of loose straw. The beauty being that these stored compared to bales take up way less room. You can put way more of these into a silo compared to loose straw, so for storage these are by far and away a better bet. By far and away a better bet. So that's good. We've answered another question. Can you use it for bedding? Yes, you can. Is the ratio correct? Absolutely, the ratio is correct. That is brilliant. So you're going to use far less pellets for bedding than you do compared to bales. Yes, you've got to compress the bales down to get to this point, but again, in real life, and what's good about this now in game is it's about storage and transport. Transporting bales, and especially on console when we have a 200 bale limit, if you've got a big animal production set up and you're doing bedding and you're doing mixed ration and you're doing stuff like that, you can't necessarily afford to have 200 bales or be near your limit. If you compress them all down and store them as pellets, you can store way more. That's brilliant. Right, so that's that question answered. You can use it for bedding. The ratios are great. Next question then. What about total mixed ration? I will try hay in a minute for the sheep, but I don't see any reason why I won't take it. It does say in the menu it will. So the question is, can we make total mixed ration? And where do we stand with regard to the ratios? This is going to be a little bit trickier, isn't it? Just thinking. This is a 16,000 litre one, so what I should really do is my normal mix, I would do 4,000 of silage, 4,000 of straw and 8,000 hay is what I would normally do. I don't know how this is going to work. Okay, this is going to be a bit trickier. The ratios for straw bedding, we've already seen, work fine. But realistically, this takes 16,000 litres to fill. Now, whilst it may let me use... I've got silage, it does say hay pellets on there. And obviously it's going to give me the option to load them. So I've got 73,379 litres of hay pellets. I've got 59,890 litres of straw pellets, and I've got my silage. And my silage I'm going to put in first. I want to try and get about 4,000 litres. That's what I'm aiming for. Just over, that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is hay. If I add my hay in, I need to get to about 12,000 litres, but I don't know. Well, let's just put it in until it says 12,000 on my counter. Right, 12,000. If I click back on that, hay pellets. Did we use 12,000 litres of hay pellets? It was on 73, wasn't it? 73,379. Not 12,000, 8,000. It has, yeah, it's used 8,000 litres. So the ratios aren't right if you're going to make total mixed ration. Because realistically, I've just used 8,000 litres of hay pellets. To get 8,000 litres of hay pellets, multiply that by 4 and that's how much actual hay I've used. And that's way off. That's, you know, it's like 32,000 litres. Is that right? 816. Mine's gone blank. 816. Yeah, 32,000 litres. So in essence, to get 8,000 litres of hay pellets, I've used 32,000 litres worth of loose hay. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay. I mean, it works in so much as you can do it with pellets. And if I top it up, I should start total mixed ration. And go and check back on that. Straw pellets. Yeah, I was on 59,890, so I've used my 4,000 litres of straw. So yeah, using pellets for making total mixed ration, whilst you can do it, the ratios aren't right. I'm still using an equivalent amount of pellets compared to straw, and you're better off using loose. So for storing your pellets, it's fantastic. It uses up way less space, which is exactly how you need it to be. So if you're going to just sell your pellets but you want somewhere to store them, then that's absolutely fantastic. You can use them for making total mixed ration, but because of the compression ratio, it's not quite worked out. Now, can I get away with... I'll just put hay pellets in here. Let's put a load of hay pellets in here. Ah, that's why. Because it's not showing us hay pellets, it just says hay there. So it's putting them in from hay pellets, but they're just hay. So I'm storing them as hay pellets, but then they're coming out as normal hay. So you can do it, you can put it into a mixer wagon, it's just not necessarily the best way of doing it. Okay, well, again, this is all about learning and finding out. Where is my feed trough? Come on the wrong side again, haven't I? So I have. So I can store them as hay pellets, I can put them into a mixer wagon as hay pellets. What I will do from the mixer wagon, if it will allow me to unload, I suppose the next thing to do to check to make sure this is absolutely correct is to get another sheep pen and just do it with a normal trailer with pellets and see if the ratio is different. That's a call of that. So how much are we looking at for my animals? Sheep. I've got 7,001 litres. It took of, well, what technically then ended up being a loose product. It shouldn't have been. How many animals have I got in there? 16, 17. Bear with me. Right, so I put in another sheep pasture. Got to make sure I do this right. Another sheep pasture with 17. One brown, 16 white, exactly the same as the other one. The other one, out of the silo, it was stored as hay pellets. When I put it into the mixer wagon, it automatically transformed it back into loose material, so it was registering as loose. In a regular trailer, down the bottom right, is saying hay pellets. It took 7,001 litres of loose material to feed the 16 sheep. What I'm hoping is that it won't take anywhere near that to feed them with hay pellets. Nope, didn't even come close. So what, 2,000 litres? So feeding the animals, giving them bedding or feeding them directly hay, if you're going to give them hay, and if I give the cows hay as well, the ratio's correct, so you can use the pellets, no problem at all. As soon as you put it into a mixer wagon, whilst you can use the pellets from the silo, it automatically kind of transforms them back as soon as it hits that mixer wagon into a loose product, and then you end up wasting the compression ratio. You waste the fact that you spent all that time compressing them to give you better options. So, other uses? Yes, there are other uses. We can use them for bedding, we can use it for feed, we can make total mixed ration if we want to. Can we buy it directly? Yes, we can. Can we sell it directly? Yes, we can. Can we sell it loose? Yes, we can. We can sell it palletized as well. There were some issues with the sell point. A few people have said if you look at it, it's slightly raised, and I've tried putting it in all different positions, on grass, off grass, and it always puts it down with a little base and it's slightly raised. If you raise it up a little bit, it takes the pallet no problem at all, and as you've seen already, it unloaded no problem into there loose. The hay situation, it worked okay for me on here. That could be a seasons issue. I'm trying to think, there's probably going to be a ton more questions over the next few days that people are going to be asking. I would urge you before, not necessarily before commenting, I have no problem with comments whatsoever, but think about your questions you're asking and run through a few, kind of a checklist in your head before you go to thinking about, I need to send a question to somebody. Think about the possibilities of, could it be a mod clash? Could it be you've got seasons on? What other reasons could there be for the issue you're having? If you go through all of those and tick them off and say it's not that, it's not that, it's not that, then it could be something else that's causing the problem. As far as unloading goes, oh yes, who was it? Before I forget, where did I write it down? And I did write it down somewhere. Snowy suggested and sent me a picture, because I said about not being able to. That was weird. My game froze, but it's okay now. Yeah, I said about using a conveyor belt. I said about using the cranes and various different things, and I said obviously that's too high. You can't unload from a trailer. He used is it the EB? Oh man, I can't remember what the mod was. He just sent me the picture of it. It's a small one. Was it a Fort Trip one? That's on like a scissor lift, so you can load into it. The capacity is not massive, but it doesn't need to be, because this will only take 5,000 litres at a time. So you can back up with your trailer, and then you scissor lift it up, and then it tips. So yeah, if you want to do it by trailer, you can do it like that. That'll work absolutely no problem at all. I haven't got it installed. You know what, bear with me a second, I'm going to install it, I'll show you, because I don't want to get it wrong, but thank you Snowy for that. Other than that, I think I've covered everything I was intending to. So this is the kiddie right here, this is the EB4 trailer, this is by Patjesh Modding. You can find this under chaser bins, auger wagons actually, but it will take, as you can see, straw pellets. Now the Primos, if you're running the Primos, a full hopper of the Primos is what, 9,000 litres. The hopper bin here is only 5,000 litres. So potentially if you're producing a lot more pellets than you can process through here, you're going to need somewhere to store it. So those storage silos are going to be worth their weight in gold. So what we do is we lift, put him back on the stick like so. And then we tip. Ah, not on the floor. Wasn't far enough back. But there you go. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can leave it like that. While the machine's processing, it will gradually drain out the last bits. So, what are we looking at now? It says so interestingly, I've filled this up, emptied that completely. So is it this bit here that's referring to? Because it's saying that that's still filling up. Hasn't reached its 5,000 litres yet, so maybe this bin will take more. Because that was 6,000 odd litres and it took all of it. Well, now it's hit its 100%. It says fill level straw pellets 5,000. There we go, but there we go, that's it, that's the EB4 trailer. So if you do want to do it by trailer, that'll work absolutely perfectly. I'm just thinking, in my head, I'm going to be thinking off the field, pellets delivered, stored in a silo, and then use the EB4 to take it from the silo to here and fill this up every time you need to fill it up. And you can fill these up and use the cranes and all various different things. The other thing I didn't show in the last episode as well, when I was looking at the pallet hauls, was the crane grab, and I said there wasn't much use. I did put a little thing up on the screen saying, other than lifting pallets, I said, what would be the point of it? The crane can come right the way along, right into this corner, and you can lift these pallets up and load them onto a trailer. So if you back a trailer in here, you could lift them directly onto a trailer to be delivered, if you want to do it that way. That's what that attachment was for. This one, he says, and change the screen setting, and now we change the mode, which was I'm trying to think, what was the mode? What am I doing wrong here? Toggle crane tools X, pressing up and down on the D-pad. This one here, and because we can take this right into the corner, and I didn't show it, and I'm sorry I didn't show it, and there was me saying, oh, I can't really see much use for it. I mean, not that I'm going to be able to do it, because I'm going to be hopeless at this kind of thing, but what was it, open it out like that, right into the corner. I might have to rotate it actually. Oh, that's interesting, because I think I was far over saying go on. Oh no, no, if this works it'll be a miracle. Let's see, shall we? Oh, look at that. 2,000 litres in a pallet. I'm not getting too bad with these things, am I? Look. So yeah, so if you have got a trailer here, pulled into the back there, you just swing it around whichever direction you want it, drop it down onto your trailer and wallop, away you go. There you go. Thought I'd show that while I was here as well. Put that down to the ground. I'll jump out of there for a moment. And there we go. Got there in the end. Got there in the end. Right, so I think that's everything. I think I've pretty much showed everything I was going to. The questions that were asked, I think I hope I've answered them to your satisfaction. That said, over the next few days, I'm not going to keep doing videos where, you know, if people ask me a couple more questions, I'm not going to do another video to answer a couple of questions, only because I had quite an influx, and I thought, you know what, some of these need to be answered. So there you go. I hope you found it useful and informative. I apologise if I've waffled and confused people. If you have found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. As always, thanks for watching.